Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's question and answer video. I'm answering questions from last week's video, from last Monday. Any questions you guys have, please, I encourage you, go down below, ask me anything you want, and I'll answer your questions in the next Q&A video, next Monday. I like to recommend something every week for you guys to help you heal from your traumas, whether it's better sleep or depression or whatever it is to heal. This week, I want to recommend 8 tips to heal your anxiety problems, okay? This isn't just to cope. These are things to help heal from it. So, tips on healing anxiety. I have 8 different tips. First one, accept professional help. At least consider it. You might have an anxiety disorder. You may really need medicine, okay? Not getting the help that we need and not getting medicine if we need it can only make it worse, okay? Very important. Number 2, and talk. Professional help is talking. That's what really helps with anxiety. There's reasons we have anxiety. Typically, it's from our past, okay? Number 2, avoid drinks or food that cause anxiety and make it worse, especially alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol and caffeine make anxiety worse. The best thing, and this isn't something that just you have to eliminate. Decrease, minimize, okay? Start being more aware of your anxiety and paying attention to it and what causes it, what makes it worse, what helps it, all right? Give yourself a chance to heal from anxiety. Then start introducing these things back into your life again once you feel better, all right? Or if you need professional help and you need to talk to someone for a while, take medication for a little while, then reintroduce these things when we don't have anxiety problems, all right? Number 3, foods that help. Make sure you drink lots of water. Hydration, being dehydrated will make your energy levels go down and it'll cause anxiety. Really important. Complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates, a lot of things that a lot of us don't want to eat these days, right? And they help you have energy. Without energy, we have more anxiety. And you'll see that often, won't you guys? If you have anxiety problems, you seem to have low energy. And there's other reasons that's happening. That's why we need help and to talk and stuff. But you can eat high energy foods. Sweet potatoes, corn, peas, beans, stuff like that. Number 4, exercise regularly. Exercise regularly. If you can do a little bit of exercise and raise your heart rate every day, you're doing well. That's a lot better. We don't want to exercise too much. That causes anxiety. And we want to be careful when we exercise. It can make us feel bad, actually. We can exercise right before sleep, and then now we can't sleep. Okay? And sleep. Number 5. Very important. Sleep. Sleep really sets the day, doesn't it? How much sleep we get really sets the next day and how we feel. And it will make anxiety worse if we're not getting enough sleep. So that's a very important part of healing from anxiety. Sleep, okay? It's not just a side effect or a symptom, not getting enough sleep. We have to get enough sleep. That makes anxiety worse. Number 6, daily journal. Diary, things like this, checking in with ourselves, writing down our problems and our thoughts and our bad feelings and writing down. We can even rate ourselves with anxiety, 1 through 10, can see the progress. We'll start being more aware of maybe what causes anxiety, what makes it worse. We'll see the days that we have it the worst. Oh, it's because of this. Really important to know this to fix it. We have to be aware of our emotions and what they are and what causes them, okay? We need to know what makes us feel good and bad. And number 7, support. Support. A good social network, getting out there, seeing people, interacting with people and friends, okay? This is what really makes us feel better. Isolating, not so much. 8, the most difficult, take risks. Crazy, huh? We think if I have social anxiety, then I need to keep myself safe, then why would I go out in society? It makes it worse, right? What makes it worse is trying to stay safe all the time. Because then our anxiety happens no matter what, right? We're not really treating the anxiety. And then we build up phobias even, fears of going outside, things we're not used to, things we haven't done in a while. So you want to introduce yourself, put yourself in places that do cause somewhat anxiety. Obviously not too much, but some anxiety. And we start to learn how to deal with it. We have experiences that turn out to be okay. And so our brain relaxes and doesn't make us so scared of it. Little steps at a time. People ask me, how do I overcome, social groups and stuff like this that cause me anxiety? Well, we got to start pushing ourselves, because really all of this requires action. Action, okay? That's it, guys. Any questions, ask me. Thank you. I'll put this down in the description box if you guys want to read them. All right, time for the questions. From Michelle from Pennsylvania. Hi, Michelle. Thank you, David. We are grateful for your advice. Well, thank you very much for telling me, Michelle. You're welcome. And Mandy from San Diego. Hi, Mandy. I say San Diego. I have Arabic friends, and I know you know there's a lot of Arabs there in San Diego. That's how they say it. Hi, David. Why does the covert narcissist attach to his narcissistic borderline family members? His mother and sister are both narcissistic and borderline. How come it is possible for him to see that they are impossible, that he can't see they're toxic? How come the toxic people have to bond tightly? They have to go against the more normal, nurturing, and reasonable person. Thank you, David. So, Mandy, you know, you're really looking at a toxic family dynamics, which is just, I mean, reeks of, and you don't want to say the word codependency, dependency, emotional dependency, meaning I'm not self-reliant. Nobody in that family is self-reliant, can't take care of themselves emotionally. They're dependent on others around them to do that. And having these dependent bonds with and attachments with this family makes it enabling in itself that no one will call me out on my BS. Or if they'll just call me out, but I don't have to change it or fix it. I don't have to stop addictions. I can keep repeating bad, toxic behavior. The people in the family will put up with my emotional outrage, bursts of outrage and stuff like this. You see that? And we all ignore the problems, right? Because we can't have it change. It's got to stay like this. And so we're all good. We're all fine. And we might even have a scapegoat. It's just this person's problem in the whole family. So why does the covert narcissist attach to his family? Well, he grew up with them. He was attached as he grew up. Attachment happens, guys. It's not something, we can be in somewhat control of it once we're more mindful of what we're doing. But if you're around someone long enough, it doesn't matter really if you hate them. You can attach to them still. You can attach to a boss that you're working around all the time and you don't have much of a social life and you guys get a little personal in conversation and you really don't care for them. But if you're around them all the time and that's the only person, you're going to attach. You're going to attach. We can attach to someone just hurting us and abusing us. You can eventually get attached to them. We get attached to things, belongings. We get attached to cars and our homes and our clothes and jewelry and, you know, things that are mementos of certain times and people and places. We get attached. Okay. So, why is someone attached to their family? Well, they grew up with them. Okay. And how come the toxic people have to bond tightly? It's to reassure I don't have to change, be called out on my crap, and you'll always be there for me, even though my behavior is outrageous, disgusting, toxic, sabotaging, stuff like this. I hope I'm making sense. And dependency is addiction, and addictions are number one in your life. So if you have a huge codependent family that you're dependent on all day, every day, not self-reliant, relying on them, then this becomes very important to you. And outside interference becomes like challenges, threats to this. You know, oh, you guys, I noticed your family seems a little enmeshed with each other and really crosses each other's boundaries. What do you mean? No, we're not. Oh, it's just the way we've always been. Blah, 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 blah. And you don't know our family. It's a little different. We're Irish. We're Polish. I love that one. I hear Italians use that the most. I'm Italian. We're Italians. Hey, you know, we kick and shout and scream and throw things and hit each other. We're Italian. Yeah, as if all Italians do that. It's your family. You just have an Italian name. Yeah. So, hope I answered your question. Let me know, Mandy. Thank you. And Lisa from Ireland. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for tonight's video. You're welcome. I like what you said about us hopefully watching your channel because we want to heal and become more self-aware. That's exactly what I want, David. Good. I hope I'm providing that for you. I also never want to be that person who attracts another narcissist into my life. I sometimes take 2 steps forward and then take a step back. But I'm more aware of that now, David. I always enjoy your videos and the butt of banter you put into them because it's good to laugh. Thank you, Lisa, very much. And I wrote down here, and for all of you, life isn't linear. Life goes like this, doesn't it? And that's okay, right? Too much isn't. The same reasons isn't. Doesn't feel good. Maybe not so much like this, but maybe like this. It gets better as we become more emotionally intelligent. Diana from Denmark. Hi, Diana. Thanks for answering my questions, and happy Easter. And for all of those of you that celebrate Easter, I hope you had a nice Easter weekend with you and your family. And thank you, Lisa. I want to do things faster, but I get stress even from thinking about becoming faster. How can one be fast without having stress? When I become stressed, I become sort of like a blank and can't think. How do you recommend coming out of that state? Do you think being slow and easily getting stressed can come from past narc abuse? Also, how do you know that you are fully healed from the narc abuse? I have forgiven narcs from my past, but I still often get images from the abuse in my mind. Thanks from Denmark. Diana says, I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing you. It just sounds like you're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, maybe complex, possibly. Look into that. Go ask a professional what they think. That's what you're talking about here, okay? It's stress disorder. Your reaction to danger is freeze. That kind of shows that you haven't been taught how to react to danger, that your normal reaction is freezing, which typically is what children do because they can't fight or run, right? What can a 5-year-old do when mom and dad are fighting, kicking, throwing things? You know how freaking traumatizing that is to a child? What can we do? I can't tell mom and dad to stop. I can't eliminate my danger and my threat or run out the door. See you guys later. I'll be back next week. I mean, we can't. So you just sit there and you freeze, and that becomes your normal reaction. If you're still doing that, Diana, we need to fix that, right? That's the most dangerous reaction we could ever have to danger. Nothing. Deer in headlights. Yeah. What happens with deers? They get hit by cars because they don't move. They freeze. Yeah. Real bad. So I'm not trying to scare you, but we get help for this, okay? And you're talking about your past. That becomes depression, right? We can't always live right here, right now. There's something in the past that still bothers me, and I have images and thoughts and feelings, and these are things that we need to process, Diana. So normally after the first steps of recovering from trauma, healing, is to kind of slow everything down. Kind of not do anything. A lot of people tend to isolate for a little while. Okay? And then we start processing. We start processing our trauma. And that's what needs to be done here, Diana. You need to process your trauma. Understand it. Feel better about it. Have somebody validate it. Listen to you. Express your emotions. Get them out of there. Okay? So it sounds like you have a stress disorder is your problem, and that's why we're reacting to stress this way and not actually fixing things and taking care of it. Okay? Any other questions you have about that, Diana? Please ask me, because you asked me how do I come out of this state. So like I was saying earlier in the video, just a few minutes ago, we do little bits at a time, and one thing that we really need to start being mindful of is the speed of things. Relationships, that's your boundaries, and there's nobody else that determines that. Somebody else might want it faster and you may not. What are we going to do about that? Is there something we can do about that? But it doesn't mean that force you to just agree, be agreeable. And that's kind of another thing we do. We tend to do too much of, agree. I always say agreeability really isn't a beneficial ability for yourself. It's just beneficial to someone else. Right? Okay. And I'm sorry, Diana, that you're still feeling this way and having images like this. Start processing them with somebody else, okay? Writing helps too. Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. Thank you very much for explanation on scapegoats. My family's friend is constantly separated by his wife, or scapegoated by his wife and children. That is just awful that an abuser gets the children to also abuse dad. If the scapegoat speaks up, would they normally listen because the whole family dynamic is toxic, so they would probably just deny it? Or is it better for him to just divorce his wife and family? Well, I mean, I don't know I don't know, but what we do, real simple. It's a real simple plan, but it's not. It can be very difficult to put into action. But you have to accept that we all have problems, okay? We all have personal problems. Relationships have problems that surface eventually. You know, they may have started right away, but we're just not aware of it for 6 months, and now here they are, and we have problems. And so what are we going to do about them? And we fix them or we end the relationship. It's just like that, man. It's just like that. And we went to go fix it, and the therapist says, oh, you guys are doing so much better. And your partner says, well, fuck, I'm better. This is great. And you're still not Something's still there. Got to fix it, or it's over. You can prolong that. People say, how long can you stay together with them? As long as you want. They got to fix it. Is it better for him to just divorce his wife and family? Well, that's if he can't fix the problems. He can't do it alone. Sounds like his wife and children aren't willing to. I mean, if you have an abuser repeatedly abusing somebody else, what are the odds you're gonna fix that problem? Because that is so freaking personal. To abuse, to be an abuser, you have so much freaking personal problems. How are you gonna go fix that together in a family, in family counseling, marriage counseling? You're not. I mean, because these personal problems keep us from having these kinds of relationships, good relationships. And that is just so common. Couples going to get the relationship fixed when one or two people have so many freaking problems. It's not gonna happen. It's like building a car and you don't have the body on it, but you go get it painted. It's like, well, you got to have the body on it to paint it. You're just painting the inside, the engine. Let's put the body on the car, then we paint it. Thanks. That made sense. Thanks, Emily. Let me know. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. I agree, David. What is their motive or agenda? To hurt us. So Rory asks, what is the narcissist's motive or agenda? To hurt us even more? Confuse us? Put one over on us? Smirking behind closed doors like maybe we are the entertainment? How cruel. Well, Rory, I'm not speaking for all sociopaths, psychopaths, borderlines, narcissists. You're saying narcissists. Because the psychopath, the sociopath, there's a definite element to that. Real proud of myself for controlling you and manipulating you. I'll go brag about it. Do it just for entertainment purposes. But the real, these are, what you described, to confuse us, put one over on us, make us their entertainment. This is, you have to understand, this is a child, an emotional child, underdeveloped emotional child that has no self-reliance, that cannot take care of themselves. They cannot provide their emotional needs for themselves. They might have major financial problems. They may not keep a job. There's all kinds of things and responsibilities in life that we have, and they can't do these things. Sometimes all of it. They're reliant on other people, and they've never been, this is how they've been taught to do it, period. I have a lot of parents who raise narcissist children, and they don't understand how. I was so good. I gave them everything they needed and wanted. Yeah, well, neglect isn't just, I didn't give them something. I may have given them too much. Never held them accountable for anything. Never really gave them any responsibilities. Told them they did a good job and they didn't do anything. No punishment. So these are tactics and ways to get what they want and need, rather than communicate and be vulnerable and tell them how they feel and just ask for it. And you could hurt me. Ooh. Scariest goddamn thing for a narcissist. I ask you and you say no. Well, it wouldn't be so scary if I'm not asking you for everything I freaking need, right? Whether it's life or death, I'm going to ask you for what I need, and if you say no, I'm dead. Well, how about I provide it for myself, and so I'm not so freaked out by asking you for something. I'm just asking you for something I kind of want. It'd be kind of nice if you did this. Yeah, I hope my point's coming across here. So motive and agenda isn't necessarily just to entertain you, or to be entertained like a puppet. But like I said, the antisocial does get proud of themselves for that, and there are narcissists that will be proud of doing that. But it comes down to, this is how I get what I want and need from you, period. And I need you. I'm dependent on you. I need a lot from you. So I'm going to constantly, and even when the second you provide something I need, since I didn't do it myself, it's not enough. So guess what? Right when we're done, I'm needed again. I need it tomorrow. Okay? And I'm going to use different tactics. I'm going to guilt you. Well, you said this, I'm going to say, and it's just all a fight to get what I need from you. I hope that makes sense. I wrote I believe there are more than one reason, and they differ with each individual, but a sheer lack of self-reliance and being taught how to get what they need and want. People who bore easy and need to be entertained are just in bad company when they're alone. Can't even entertain themselves. Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. I feel like you got to do that, you know. Dun, 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 dun. Do that to Narcissist. Got to entertain you all the time. When someone tells me I'm bored, yeah, I just if I'm forced to do something, right? I feel like I'm forced and I'm not leaving. There might be a chance I could get bored. You know, I could get bored at a, well, I'm not going to say anything. I might insult somebody, but I can get bored. There's things out there in life, if I'm forced to do, I might get bored doing it until I'm done. I don't want to do that anymore. But I'm just, but that's not me choosing to do that. I'm not bored. I don't get bored by myself. I don't get lonely. I don't get alone. Used to, when I didn't really know myself. Did have a really good relationship with myself. I was in bad company. Depressing. Negative. Yeah. Thanks, Rory. Let me know what you think. All right, Emma from Sweden. Hi, Emma. You don't have anything to ask today. You just want to say hi anyway and tell you that I'm still watching. Awesome. Good. Thank you. You said you have a recommendation on Netflix, A Fall from Grace, based on a true story. A woman becomes a victim of really evil and sick son and his mother. In my eyes, they are antisocial, really awful, but still interesting movie. Trigger warning. Thank you, Emma. I'm going to check that out. And Salema from France. Hi, Salema. You left a big message, but I got your question here. With my son, I decided to cook only easy recipes with few ingredients, little shopping, little cooking time. Thus, I get less stress. Good. See? You're being more conscious and aware of yourself and mindful of what you're doing and how it makes you feel. So now we cook many Moroccan tagines? I don't know how to say that. They are delicious. Sounds delicious. I like Moroccan food. Delicious and so easy to cook, and we are so happy and proud of our dishes. I think those are those little pastry folded stuff with little meat and stuff in it, but I could be wrong. How could I have known that cooking was not the most difficult thing to do, but how to give a vision to the activity now? I have to dig and find out how is it and why these Moroccan tagines mend so many traumas and why it took so much time to find out. Well, you're expressing yourself, Salema. You're pursuing self-interest and being mindful of how it makes you feel, and you're finding something that you're interested in and that you enjoy doing, and cooking helps heal trauma. Isn't that crazy? Literally, cooking helps heal trauma, especially cooking for others. So it's great. And you talked about how used to eat bad and you gained a bunch of weight, and I said, well, now it's time to make everybody else fat with your cooking. Thanks for sharing. Jennifer from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. David, I know you've done a video on this, and I will watch it, but just to say a few words about the vulnerable narc. I reckon I've come across one. Not too sure. Hard to weigh him up. Tattooist, quiet, on the phone all the time. Scrolling, doesn't seem to be interested in asking about me. Seems self-centered, very financially stable, and I think he uses this for attention. Asks about costs of things. I find that personal. Told me how much he earns. Boundaries. Looks me up and down whilst I'm looking at him. Boundaries. Rub my head. I've not much hair. Boundaries. I told him it's personal. Competing with me and my Doc Martens that are expensive to me. He's worn 3 different pairs, so I think I have the answer. It's believing it. I got talking to him over the weeks, but backed off and kept it professional. I'm just a customer. He's not my tattooist. Just seems very insecure, big-headed, money-oriented. Today I went in for a chat with others there, and he said in private, "Are you okay? I thought you had gone off. I thought you had gone off me." But when he realized it wasn't about him that I was upset about, that was it. So when you're upset, but he just want to make sure it wasn't him, I love that, right? You mad at me? That you be sit there bawling, and you're like, "You mad at me?" And you're like, "No." And you're like, "Okay, good. I don't care that you're crying, but mad, you'll do something. You might leave me." I thought you had gone off. He didn't ask what I was upset about. I feel a fool for going on like this. I'm a little tearful. I'm not on the hunt for a man, just going with the flow. I'm feeling confused. I think this is exactly my answer. Confusion. Can you help, David? Anyone? Thank you, Jennifer. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I'm sorry this upset you so much, that this guy upset you. If you don't really know him and he's already upset you that much, I don't know if you even want to say something to him, you know? Maybe just stay away from him. I don't know, Jennifer. We're also hyper vigilant when we come out of trauma. I don't know where you are, but I just know that when I was first traumatized, man, I was so hyper vigilant. I found wrong in everyone, you know? And it was harder to accept little things. I saw narcissism in everyone. If I just saw a little narcissism in you, I'm like, God, you selfish, you know? But we're all a little narcissistic, and it comes out sometimes, little ego problems. So, I'm sorry for your experience, Jennifer. I'm not quite sure what you want me to say or what you're asking me for. You asked about... Oh, you know what? God, I might have got... Oh, here we go. Okay, that's a different question of yours, Jennifer. That's the next one. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're asking me. It doesn't mean that he's a narcissist, right? You saw his narcissism, his ego taking control. And I'll say this. A lot of people, you know, our self-awareness is a spectrum. Where are we on our self-awareness? Like an iceberg, right? Only the tip sticks out of the water. That's our consciousness, our awareness. Same word, consciousness, awareness. And we have our subconscious, things we aren't aware of, right? And everybody's different. Some people are self-aware. Some people aren't very self-aware. Some parts and times of our life we're very self-aware. Others we're not. Could be even in a day. But anybody who's not very self-aware, and that comes out when he's talking about ego things externally, money and status and things like this. If that's what he holds important, and that's tends to be what people talk about the most, is what they hold important, you know. I got people that, I've known people that just ask me about money, how much I make, how much this costs. All they do is talk about money and what they cost. And if you ask them, hey, you know, do you care about money? No, not at all. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't care about on this planet, but you'll know that because I don't really talk about it all the time. I have people that say, I'm not obsessed with that person. Yeah, but you talk about them all the time. So, I'm not obsessed. Okay. I don't know what you're asking me, Jennifer. You know? How about we're all different? Is that what you like? No. You're finding out traits in people you don't care for. And that's why dating lots of people is beneficial instead of dating one person at a time. And I'm not talking about cheating, and I'm saying not committing yet. Yeah, I'm dating Sally. I'm dating a girl named Lisa and a girl named Kelly. And they all know just that I'm dating two other women. They don't need to know everything about them, right? That's like security. I don't need to share. That's personal. But which means I'm not committed to you, so we're not having sex, okay? You know, I'm going on dates, and I'm only going to date you maybe every couple of weeks, and we're just going to go out and do something for a while. I'm not committed to you yet. And if you're dating other men, that's great too. And yeah, it'd be nice if you told me. And then maybe once we become committed, then I'm not dating anybody else. And, yeah, thanks. Here's Jennifer's next question. David, do narcs feel sympathy for others? Or is it just those with empathy that do? Well, I think sympathy requires empathy. Absolutely has to. There's different forms of empathy. You have like cognitive and emotional. But sympathy isn't just I'm aware of how you feel, I feel similar to you, or I'm taking on your emotions. I think that's a part of sympathy. I'm taking on your emotions, and now I feel your feelings, and I'm crying along with you. I'm very sympathetic, right? You hear terms like that. They're a sympathizer. You'll hear that term used in politics. He sympathizes with the Republican Party, right? He associates with the Republican. He feels the same way as, see that? So sympathy. I can be very empathetic to somebody, and I'm not even, and they're very upset, and I'm not even upset. I can have just cognitive. I know, I understand you're hurting, and I'm sorry. That could be an act of sympathy, right? And then it's I feel how you feel. Oh no, oh I'd imagine that would be horrible. Or empaths, we call us, right? Empaths. I'm literally taking on your emotion. I'm feeling the same way you are, and I may not even know why yet. Oh, because you feel that. Oh, that's why I'm picking up your emotions and feeling them. Literally, this is a thing. What's it, microneurons? I can't remember the term. But sympathy requires I got to feel some of that with you, and I'm crying along with you, rather than just kind of cognitive sympathy, like, I'm sure that sucks, I'm sorry. And that's kind of something that professionals and stuff deal with, right? When I do coaching, I have to have empathy, right? But I don't need to sit there and cry along with you. That wouldn't be good. I have felt like it. Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. Oh, and one more. David, how does one make the ego healthy? And so we all have an ego, and some people try to deny it and get rid of it all day in their whole lives. But why don't we just accept it, recognize we have an ego? An healthy ego would be very aware of our actions, our behaviors, and our decisions. Where are they coming from? Is that us? Or is that just my fear of getting hurt? Is it I feel like you got the best of me, and people see that and they're watching? You know, is my decisions and my reactions coming from vengeance, revenge, selfishness, envy, jealousy? That's my ego, right? But if I want a healthy ego, I start becoming very aware of myself. This is what I start doing with most of my clients. Most of my clients need this. And we start becoming aware of ourselves, and our decisions and our choices are made by our own personal morals. Okay? Not what somebody else told me. I'm not doing what somebody else says. It's me. And I also recommend to a lot of people having an alter ego. It can be very, very healthy and beneficial for you. It can also be not good for you. So an alter ego is not really who I am. It's just fun being that for a little while. And the example I used is someone who's in a corporate office all day and is maybe a father at night in the weekends, and they go to church and they do all these things, right? And they just want to take the tie off and go put on some leathers and ride a motorcycle and act like they're a bad motorcycle gang, you know, for just an hour every once in a while. And that's great. I think that's so great, healthy, and it's so fun. But we don't want to take that as our identity, and that is us. We don't want our alter ego to be more perfect or better than us, kind of thing. It's just for fun. And I think it helps you be more aware of your real ego. So, healthier ego, the choices, the decisions, and how I treat people all come from my own personal morals. Okay? And a great way to do that is to meditate. Emma from Sweden. Oh, and there's a term, it would be, it's called, if I got this right, I just remembered this, the wise executor. So I'm making wise decisions for myself as coming from an executive position of cognitively knowing what's right, what's good for me, what's best for me. And not just an emotional reaction, right? Where I lash out and go, oh God, that wasn't me, right? And you'll hear lots of people say, oh God, that wasn't me. What got over me? Yeah, your freaking ego. It likes to come out when we're drunk. Okay, Emma, again from Sweden. How do you think I can help my kids not being scared that their father will die from his illness? So you're a nurse, their father has an illness, but it's not terminal at all. Not saying he'll never die, or he won't die from something else soon, or that could eventually kill him, but it's not terminal. He's not going to die from it, and he's telling your children he is. What's the best way? Tell them the truth. I recommend your children be in talk therapy. It is so vitally important in situations where mom and dad are against each other. It is so important because all of this causes confusion, it causes fear, it causes stress, causes anxiety, causes depression, and it causes low self-worth. They think it's their fault, and it causes low self-worth. Shame. Get them into therapy where they can talk to a neutral person they can trust and get these kinds of things out where somebody else can tell them the truth. Because when mom tells them things about dad, they begin to think that mom just hates dad and is not being real, and you know, because that's what dad's doing, that kind of crap. So tell them the truth, for one. Tell children the truth as soon as it's age appropriate, right? I mean, if they're at the age that mom feels it's okay to talk about it, talk about it. Tell them. Tell them what's wrong with dad. Dad has a personality disorder, if that's true. If they're old enough, if you think so, mom. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids, but I'm saying I think it's okay, if that helps. It's okay. It's okay to tell them what's wrong with dad. You do it with care and compassion and sympathy and empathy, love. Okay? In a nice tone of voice. And you don't ever, it's not bad. They're not a bad person. Dad's just sick. Dad has more illness and sickness than just that disease or whatever he has. He also has some personal character and personality problems. And dad wants your attention. He wants your sympathy. He wants you to feel sorry for him. You can, why not? But I think a professional can explain these things better. Can, not will. Some can. But I think it's really important that they're talking to somebody. And in this situation, I think it could be really beneficial for them to have a male therapist that hopefully is a better example and role model of a man than what they have. I said, I'm sorry, Emma, please try to be aware and accept the difference between what you can do and what you cannot. You're not totally in control of this, right? You can't fix everything, Mom. Especially when Dad's over here making it worse. Sometimes you just can't fix it. There will be things that are just too bad. You married a person with a personality disorder, a sick, abusive person, and had children with them. And so they're also his children. And you have court orders and stuff like this, maybe. So you're not totally in control of it, Emma. Tell your children and love them and explain to them. Tell them what you just said to me in this. There is no perfect plan, Mom. Just learn as you go and they will be okay and you will be okay. I mean that, okay? And that's it, guys. That's the end of the question and answer video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think. Ask lots of questions. Tell me what you think of my answers, okay? Make sure that I understood your questions, that you understood my answers, okay? No matter what, make sure you love yourself first, everybody, and have a beautiful week. I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.